make sure that I actually have audio. How we sounding? Okay, I think we're good. Looks like it's still set up from earlier. Oh, I am absolutely tired today, as always. Today should be fun though. I'm gonna get some water so I can actually talk. Be curious to see what we can get done. But I got a clear plan that includes making a jump game, as the title and description suggests. So, okay. So yeah, I think I'll just wait a second, let some people join in if they want to join. Probably give it a couple minutes here, and then we will get going. I'm just gonna add a cube to start off with, just to start making our scene. And I got a very clear idea, so I'm actually gonna scale this cube on the y-axis like, probably like 10. Yeah, that should be good for now. That'll be a good platform. And it's gonna basically just be a game where it's just about jumping up. So we'll have some physics and we'll be working on some stuff like that. There we go. And here's our cube. Question is, how tall do I want the player to be? So let's scale Z and let's go 1.5. We'll do 2. 1.5 is good. Scale 1.5. 5. There we go. Should be a good size. I think that'll work. Yeah. Alrighty then. So let's make this character do stuff now. And let's just make it dynamic. Because I think we're gonna do that. Do something like that. Collision box. Nice and easy. And for the friction, let's just set that to 1 with a rolling friction of 0.2. I don't think that really will do much. And we'll just call this jump game. There we go. And I think, let's see, I changed something here. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So let's just start by making a character. And one of the main things is we don't want the character to be able to slide off the edge here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lock the x-axis so the character can't move on the x-axis. That'll make things a lot easier. That way we don't just slide off of our side-scroller map. Then let's make it... I guess I need to make a code screen. We're going to duplicate that tab. Code. Nice and easy. There we go. Then what I want to do is actually just bring this up. And we're going to probably call this logic. Yeah, this is a logic node editor. And we want to make a new script, and I'm just going to call it player. Like so. Then I want to, or what I'm going to do is just apply it to my player so that we can affect it. Now I am using the dynamic character option, or the dynamic physics property instead of a character, because I want a little bit more control over the physics since this is going to be a jumping game. And the more control, the better. So let's just add a keyboard. Just get this character jumping for now. And I need to adjust my mic stand so my arm isn't hitting it every single time. There we go. And then I need to do a key down. So basically what I want to do is when I press key down, I want to make it so I apply a force on the z-axis. There we go. So let's go physics, and we will add in a, not character, jump. Let's do apply force. Or should I do an impulse? I might try both. Oh, so we could do impulse with the direction. This might be better. Let's try that. We'll do a local. So we'll do it on the local axis. And the object I want to affect is myself. And let's see. Well, maybe not. Let's just do a force for now. There we go. And then I need to apply the force on the z-axis, and I think we'll have to try a couple different settings. Let's try 500 and apply it to self. I need to choose a key. I almost forgot about that. And we'll just do the space bar. And we can fly off into space. That's not bad jumps. But I do want the gravity to be a little bit heavier on them. So let's just add a apply gravity. Set gravity. Got two set gravities. See what each one of these does. So I got two different ones here. Oh, this is going to be setting the gravity of our object, which is what I want. So actually this needs to be on int, so when the game starts. There we go. Then, it's pretty quiet today. There we go. Get rid of that. Okay. So I want to apply the gravity to self. Let's just see what this looks like. Okay. So currently it's negative 9.8. Let's just do negative 20. Okay, not bad. Negative 40, maybe a little bit heavier. And then we'll just set this to like 2000. That's not bad. Now we got a little bit more control. I don't want the character to be applying force all the time because I don't want this to be Flappy Birds. So what I want to do is actually add a and make a condition with a collision. So I want to actually be touching something before I can oh, maybe I want to do a raycast. Because I don't want to collide with the wall and then also have this happen. So let's add a raycast. And we'll apply that. The condition for the raycast is going to be on update. But I'm also going to do a pulse. So I'll pulsify. I want a gap of like 0.1. So it doesn't happen all the time. In fact, 0.05. Pretty quick, but it's going to give it a little bit of a frame buffer. So that way we're not just doing it every frame because it's not really necessary. Oh, you know what I could actually do is this. So instead of this on update, let's actually do the collision. And if we're not touching the ground, oh, welcome, welcome. Can you please quickly explain how the raycast node works? Sure. So basically with your raycast node is you got a condition. This is going to be triggering it. So for example, this collision when I'm not touching, so I'm actually going to add a not. So when I'm not touching anything, then it'll trigger the raycast. So the has result of the raycast, man, let Let me try to explain this. My brain's blanking out. The result is going to just be triggering something else. So for example, we're going to have it, when we have result, then we can jump. The origin and the aim are going to be where the raycast is coming from. So to get where you want the raycast to come from, if you leave it blank like this, then nothing's going to happen. Here, one second. I just need to... I can't hear myself talk right now. So let's grab a... Let's get location, or get... I forget it's called world location, or position. So we actually want to get the position of an object for the aim and the origin. The origin is going to be easy because we can just plug that in, and the origin is going to be the self object, since that's what I got the script applied to, which is our player. For the aim, though, for example, we could just say like -1, and then if I put this on visualize so we can see it, if I press play, you'll see, oh, you'll see this green line. The only problem is this green line is going to be fixed to that -1 position. So we actually want this to move with our player. So I'm also going to plug this world position into the aim as well. Now, oop, that broke. So what I'm probably going to have to do is add in a vector math node. Let's see if I can do this. And I just want to add on the vector -1 and then the result into the aim. That broke too. So let's do a separate. Oops. A separate X, Y, and Z. Or no. Combine. Let me just relearn this really quick. Let's just make this easy on ourselves. I'm just going to select my player and add in a plane axis empty. We'll just shoot our raycast to this empty. And we'll just keep transform. Call this jump ray. There we go. Then I can just grab this node and we'll select our jump ray. So we're grabbing the origin and the aim, and the raycast is just going to be a line that shoots from one point to another, and then anything that collides with that ray is going to give us some data to work with. So we can actually, these are going to be the data points that we can grab, so we can get the object that the ray is touching, we can pick a point on the object that we're touching, also picking a normal of the object we're touching, and so on. So that's kind of the basic thing that it does. And I do have a video on it, so maybe I can point to that in the description of the stream at some point. Okay, so currently what we have going on here is when colliding with an object, and we want the object as self, we're going to do each frame. So whenever we're not colliding with an object, then in this object, we're just going to leave blank so that it'll select any object in the scene. In fact, I'm going to go here and turn that into an actor and put it on collision. And then that will allow this raycast to turn on. And once the raycast has a result, then we can press spacebar to jump. So we should, ooh, we got a error, it looks like. So let's just open up the console, or maybe not. Interesting. We didn't get an error, which is weird. Oh, thanks for explaining. Yeah, I wish I could explain it a little bit better. It's complicated. It's a complicated node to explain. For now, I'm actually going to call this ground. Grab that ground property, and let's just throw that ground property on our ground object. Ooh, interesting. We're still getting... I'm not getting an error, which is weird. It's like freezing, but it's not giving an error. So, could this be if we have result and? What if I move this over here? Oh. How about and? Oops. Just empty background now. There we go. Let me add in a light source so I can actually see our character. So let's just add in a quick sun. Point that in this direction. And we'll use our world. Let's make this world just a kind of blue. Make it a little bit easier to see. There we go. So when I press play, oh, there we go. So we can actually see our raycast. Oh, that works. So we don't even need the knot. So I guess that makes sense. So when we're colliding with the ground, we want to use the spacebar to apply this force. So we collide, then it'll turn on our raycast, allowing us to jump. That way the raycast isn't running all the time, but it'll pretty much be running whenever you're touching the ground. And now we have a solid jump. Okay. So let's now add in another object here. So we'll add in another cube. And I'm just going to be preemptive about this. We'll set it right here. Go M, new collection. And I want this to be level underscore obj. So that'll be my level objects. And this will be called block. This is going to go in the new collection world. Oops, if I can spell. World. And this will be called ground, since this will be the only ground object in the game. Because we'll have the character basically jump infinitely onto platforms and stuff going up. And then this will just be the bottom object. Okay. And this will probably expand out quite a bit further. For now, let's grab this cube and move it to like here. I guess I need to actually make the character move left and right now. So let's just come down here and, ooh, should I add physics? So it's a jumping game, so I wonder if I should make this really physics-based. And do something. One, let me just do apply scale, and then make this a capsule. There we go. That'll allow us to slide off objects theoretically. Then, yeah, we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so let's move left and right. So let's just add a key down. Nice and easy. We'll do 2 of those. D and A, since those are the only directions we need to worry about moving. And then let's just add a math node. And we'll just do it like we do any other character controller, because I want to be able to normalize my movement. Then I'll subtract those. Then let's do a vector. And we'll do a vector math. Ooh, man, how did I forget? Normalize it. Yep, there we go. Then this will be a multiply. And then I want a linear velocity. Set linear velocity. There we go. Since we're using a dynamic object, we want to do it this way. Then the result will go in there. We'll make this like 5, and we'll see how that looks on the X and Y. And the object we want to move is ourself, and we want to do this when the keyboard is active. Okay, not quite able to move yet. Let's see what's going on here. Set linear velocity. Let's do 500. Oh, it's on tap. Let's try that again. Still can't move. Can jump, but we can't move. Maybe I'm doing things wrong. Let's just do a apply movement node just to test our logic here, make sure everything is working properly. And this needs to be like 0.1. Okay, I'm doing something wrong. Let's just check out my spooky game really quick just to make sure, because this should be working. Oh, that's what it is. The vector XYZ node. That's what I was missing. Okay. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. So let's just do a vector XYZ. Slap that into there. I guess it makes sense. And we don't need all of it. We just need the Y-axis to move on. And let's set our linear velocity. Theoretically, this should work. Yep. Except we do want to set the linear velocity because we don't want to be pushed off of the object like that. So we'll set it this way on keyboard active. And I assume, oh, interesting. So I don't want to set the Z-axis linear velocity, and I can set this to 5. Let's see how that looks. Okay. And it gives us a little bit of... We do get just a tiny bit... Ooh, interesting. Huh. Oh, so I need to also... when I release the key, I need to be able to... I'm actually going to duplicate these. Then I want to, on update, set... Oh, we're setting the linear velocity. Then we want a OR controller. So if either of these keys, and we're just going... Ooh, we need a key up node. There we go. I guess I could put the music back on since I don't have to think as much anymore. Kind of just autopilot myself into this. So, whenever this key is up, and we're just going to do the D and A key, either or of these, then we want to set our linear velocity to 0 again. There we go. And theoretically... okay, I guess that works. Kind of an interesting deal here. We may always have to set or use the linear velocity as a gravity setting, so we might be able to get rid of the gravity altogether. Like if I disable gravity here, and then just say each frame released, and we could probably set that to... Oh, let's do it this way. Let's set the linear velocity on update, and we're just going to do -1, so it's always going to fall. Ooh, interesting. How about -20? Okay. And if I come up here... Oh, it's going to be probably setting these. Oh, I guess it's going to be... Yeah, we're just going to have to do it this way. Okay. Oh, and then we could set it... Because we don't want the character to stick to the walls. So maybe when colliding with this object over here, we can just apply this here, and then it'll -20 on the Z-axis. We can disable these. Okay. Ooh, maybe not. -1. Okay. Maybe not. How about if I actually set the friction to 0? Rolling friction of 0 as well. This should allow us... Yep, there we go. So it was just a friction variable that we had to change. I'll change that to like 0.1. Let's see how that does. Okay, that looks a lot better. Then let's do actor and collision box. See if we get better collisions that way. Oh yeah, way better. So sometimes it's just about changing the physics types to make everything work a little bit better. Okay, to keep things clean, let's just call this, let's just attach this, go Control J, and this will be the jump. Then we can delete that. This is going to be Control J, set gravity. Then we want this to be our movement keys. Control J, left and right movement. There we go. So that's a lot better. So now let's actually adjust the jump because I want the character to jump just a little bit higher. So we'll do like probably 1200 on the jump. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. And maybe we'll do a double jump as well. We might try to add that. So maybe a little bit higher. Or should I do it where you can hold the key down? Ooh, that might be something we could do. Try to hold the key down and then have it jump. Probably try doing a... Oh, there we go. So I also need to make sure that our block has the same property of ground as well. Yeet. That way we can jump off the block now. Now I wonder if I make this a little bit further, if we could get some coyote time as well. Interesting. Oh no, because we do need to be colliding with the ground to make that happen. So I guess you could do coyote time if you added an always or an on update. So we could try that out as well. Put that in there. We'll just remove this from the frame. And then theoretically, yeah, we have coyote time now. Oh. It's like, I guess you could make a pogo stick effect too. Okay. But that's not quite what I want, so that'll be fine. And then we can just put this back under the player. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. So it's kind of interesting. If you get like a little bit more of an arc, you can get up a little bit higher. So that's cool. I like that. Nice and easy. Let's just start before I get too far into it. I kind of want to add some textures to these blocks here. So we'll go new, Control T. And I do have, I could use textures, but I think I'll just use some generated textures here. So we'll go brick. We'll do the brick texture. And the color will just go in there. And then probably rotate 90 degrees. There we go. Do a size of like 4. And our colors, let's just make it kind of like a Mario block look. And we'll do something like that. And then the mortar color, yeah, we'll do black for that. Kind of Mario blockish. That's what it looks like in the render view. So kind of got something to choose. Do we want to do orthographic or do we want to do perspective? So let's add in a camera and move this camera out. So if we're doing perspective, then it'll be kind of 3D looking. And we can even change the focal length to like 30, make it a little bit wider. There we go. And do my best to center it on the player. So we'll just do something like that. And we'll make that a little bit wider. That would be a kind of 2.5D game. Or we could try doing an orthographic view. We can just scale out this way. And now it is perfectly 2D. So there's a couple of options we can work with here. And I wonder... Ooh, interesting. Probably have to change the scale this way to make it work for that block. But I think what I'm going to do is just a new one, call it ground. Then let's add in our mapping nodes here. And let's just select a color ramp. Then a noise texture. Then let's also do a mix color node. That result will go in there. Then I also want to grab a gradient texture. This will go right under here. Color ramp again. Nice. And we'll just use this to make a kind of more of a stylized block. Hey, making a platform game? Yes, this is going to be like a 2D kind of jumping game. So, platform jumping, pretty much. And I'm just setting up the textures right now to get everything looking a little bit nicer. But yeah, we're going to be doing side-scroller. It's kind of a side-scroller. It's going to be more like a up-scroller. So it's going to be jumping up. Maybe we'll add some side-to-side movement too. That's kind of the idea. So I just want to set up some materials for the game. And for now, in fact, we got a noise texture. Let's do a Voronoi texture, because I think we could get a little bit more Voronoi texture. And I might actually flip this around. So this will go up here, and then we'll have the Voronoi texture on the bottom. So that way we could have like a gradient going up, and then the Voronoi texture is going to be like the main texture for it. Something like that. So let's add in a... Ooh, actually this mapping node will just connect into our both of them. So this one will go up here. This one will go here. Now I can scale this up a little bit. Let's just do a couple of different UV unwrap options here. And I'll probably just go into UV editing really quick. Find out where the UVs are and scale them appropriately. Let's do scale 6 times on the y-axis. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Not so stretched out. He's making a jumping game. Yeah, that is what I'm doing. It's going to be, I think it'll be pretty cool. So, let's see. Going back to shading, I want to now change some of these color options. But before I do that, let's add in this gradient texture. And we'll go here. So actually, I changed my mind. I am going to have to do a different mapping node. We can use the same UV coordinates node, though. And this is going to go into the vector here. And this is going to allow us to add some color. In fact, I'm going to change this to transparent. And I believe, let's see if I go down to my alpha blend options here, if it'll allow me to change these. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that works out pretty good. So let's just make this kind of a green color. And currently we're on mix. Let's see if I do a overlay. Perhaps a screen as well. Let's try that out. Such an ugly green. Let's do a darker green here. Just trying to make something kind of grassy looking. Hello, which version are you using? I'm using 3.6.1. Or 3.6.2, I mean. Yep, right here down in the corner. Yeah. It's kind of my preferred version to use. Oh, my ears are all itchy. Okay. So let's, for the... Oh, interesting. I think for the Voronoi texture, I actually want to scale this up a little bit. So let's do like 15, half of what we have. And that'll give us a little bit more texture there. Then I want the dirt underneath it. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. I'll have to change. Ooh. I will have to change that. Okay, so that's gonna have to change there. Then this is gonna have to be my dirt color. There we go. And then I can change my line here. Kind of an interesting effect. And then I should be able to add some contrast by just sliding this. And for this, let's just make it kind of a offset dirt color. For highlights. Okay, that's not bad. Ooh, I accidentally messed up my mouse sensitivity. And that will go there. Alrighty. It's alright, I guess. That'll do. We could probably do like a contrast node on it just to make it look a little bit better. We could attach that right there. And we can just bump up the contrast just slightly along with the brightness. There we go. That's not too bad. Now we got some materials. And we can apply that to pretty much anything. We can move it around. Okay. Now I am just going to duplicate this just to fill out the screen. Like so. Perfect. Let's see what kind of frames we're getting. I know that I'm doing quite a bit of stuff here. So let's see what... That's not the right one. Frame rate and profile. Okay, so we're getting about 60 frames. It's not terrible for streaming and playing at the same time. Okay. Now that we got that going, I mean, it's a jumping game, so I guess we just need to do some platforms and some moving platforms and stuff like that. And we can add some different materials later as well. Been up for so long. So, to start out, we got our little block here. Let's just duplicate that. Oh, wait a minute. I also want to make it so we can probably break these blocks. So we'll probably have a couple different types of blocks to work with. And shapes and sizes. But for now, so yeah, let's just move this over like this. This is going to be my bricks. Let's duplicate the bricks and call this stone. Hey, happy weekend as well. I hope you're doing well. We're progressing. Okay, let's take this and get rid of that. Let's do a Voronoi again. And this should be able to give us a pretty nice looking stone texture. And we'll just connect the vector in there. And we can scale it up just slightly. Actually listening to some college football. Doing okay today. Nice. I don't know a whole lot about football, but hope you're doing good. Jump, jump. Yep, we're jumping. We're going to be jumping quite a bit today, hopefully. Color. Let's do a color ramp here and make our stone a little bit more stone looking. And we'll do like a hint of blue. Yeah, that's not too bad. Kind of like that. Mega Man Rockman reference. I have UPVG, but I haven't utilized it. Yeah, right on. Well, I mean, yeah, you just need to get a project, I guess, to get started. I think this could be a pretty decent project to start with, since jump games are not too bad, and they're great first projects. There we go. Now we got another stone. We got a stone texture. Let's do one more texture. So we got this grass texture. I'm actually going to duplicate that one. So let's just remove this for now and then put on our ground texture. We'll smart EV unwrap, and then let's take that, duplicate it, and just call it dirt. And we can just get rid of half of the, we can get rid of the gradient. And also the screen. And probably just plug it directly into the color. There we go. And we could probably make it a little, yeah, that's a lot better. Now we just got a dirt block. I practiced making 2 platformers, one in JavaScript and the other in Godot. Oh, how'd that go? That sounds like a pretty good deal. How'd they turn out? Okay, let's see what's going on here. Ah, that looks a lot better. And I'll probably scale them down this way as well, just to make them look a little bit better. Okay. Now I got a couple of blocks to work with. And they're about the same size as the character. Let's do one more, and we'll just do, we'll try to make a wood texture here. So let's just, that's my dirt, stone, bricks, and this will be dirt. I'm buffering a bit. I'll be going, oh, take care and be well. Oh yeah, you too. I hope everything goes well. I mean, I could do just a wood grain, so we could do like a noise texture. Put that into the vector, and then that into the color. And we have the scale and roughness here. Let's just take the scale it up. We'll do a color ramp to make it nice and contrasty. Some like